I think everything is set up properly. Let's see. We started 13 minutes early because we are doing a sound check. Oh my god, and now I can hear myself looping because I decided to test it on the same desktop like an idiot, but I should have tested it on my phone. Actually, it doesn't make a difference. Well, that's fine. Okay, just deal with the echo for a few seconds. I still need to check our relative sound bounce. Let's see. The music sense. Let's see. I don't hear you guys. Oh my god, thank god we did a sound check. I think, can you guys keep on talking?
That stuff always happens. It's fucking annoying when it does.
Other stuff that's pretty rare is cactus. We have two desert areas, and they grow at ridiculously slow rate.
We are doing a sound test right now, so if you hear like double echo for a while, you know the reason why. But yeah, apparently you did not hear Irby and Zalgus all this time because I switched the channels when I was doing the previous recording for the Drop Quest videos, and now I need to switch them back to the same channel.
That stuff always happens. It's fucking annoying when it does.
Yeah.
Other stuff that's pretty rare is cactus. We have two desert areas, and they grow at ridiculously slow rate.
We are doing a sound test right now, so if you hear like double echo for a while, you know it's better that way for sound testing. But yeah, I think I can raise both of our sounds a lot more compared to the actual sound, so I will do that. I wish we had a proper sound guide because this bullshit is literally something I have to work with every single time. I will raise you guys by 3 decibels and myself by 3 decibels.
Other stuff that's pretty rare is cactus. We have two
or maybe just 2 decibels. 2 decibels is fine.
They grow at ridiculously slow rate.
We are doing a sound test
right now, so god, the delay is so long.
For a while. I just heard you say on the delay is so long. My head is spinning. It's better that way for sound testing. But yeah, I think I can raise both of our sounds a lot more compared to the actual. This bullshit is literally something I have to work with every single time. I'll raise you guys by 3 decibels and myself by 3. I should have like a window that says, what should we call it? Let's switch to intermission first. Oh my gosh, this is not adjusted from my recent change. I just readjust this size.
So I got to 100 stamina today, finally.
Too
Too bad I still don't have 72 team cost. I'm still at 70. Really?
You'll get there.
I'm almost at 72. I'm just one rank away. This is getting, and I don't have any drinks, so this is frustrating. Missing 5 SA to max the deities, and now 1 rank to reach rank 91 to get that 72 cost.
Are you seriously grinding up to rank? Are you ranked 90 right now or something?
I am 90.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with your grinding. I'm sure you'll get there well before the event ends.
I'm grinding for the deities or whatever, however you pronounce it.
Deities.
What?
No.
You said deities, didn't you?
Yes.
Damn it.
Did you guys hear the sound yourself? Does it sound good? Now that I adjusted the volume for both of us? compared to the music, or should I also turn on the music a bit more? Maybe I'll turn on the music a bit more.
Right.
Like 2 decibels more. Oh no, I hear a phone in my background. Let's pretend that's not happening. And I'm just gonna assume you guys can't hear it. By the way, sorry for like ignoring you guys in chat. Hello everyone. How's the volume? Me relative to Irby and Salgas, as well as us relative to the music. Wait, we'll start with this. Yeah, we need to start with the egos. There you go.
Wow, the nether units are all pretty shit, aren't they?
What units?
The nether ones.
Are you just reading the nether units in general?
Yeah.
Wait, are you
Yeah.
to see which cards go well with a single bows club or something?
Yeah. I was just checking to see if I missed one, but my god, this is a terrible selection.
I'm pretty sure we've complained before about how Nether has kind of a poop selection.
I mean, it's not wood type at least, but it's definitely
what has a lot of good units now, actually.
I mean, Nether has Heracles at least. Heracles is neat. Big Unga Bunga damage.
Actually, yeah, I'm looking at this list, and at least most of the vanilla units are pretty shit. It's like Shiro, and you could just use his free start instead. I'll say it's okay. But...
Okay, well that is, I think, a good enough sound test. Maybe I shouldn't have started that early, but we can start the discussion. Hold on, let me just pull out the list because I always screw up the damn order, even though I give it to you guys ahead of time. Alright, so I should have like a mute button. Wait, I do. I'm done. Alright, so by the way, if I mute myself on chat, Irby and Zalgus might still hear me, and they might say something weird as a result. Just pretend I never said anything in that case. So we...
What's wrong?
No, I was just coughing. I didn't want them to hear that. Hello, Azu. Hello, Lulu, Luther, and hello, Kingdom. We are going to begin. Let us just start off with introductions yet again for our lovely cast here. Starting off with Irby.
Hi. That's pretty much it.
I can see that your introductions are getting more elaborate every passing stream.
My enthusiasm today is outstanding.
I mean, it should be
as you can see.
Hey, you're about to reach rank 91, and you're also about to reach full Sacred Artifact level 100 for all your deities. You should be happy until, you know, the death of... After that, then there's nothing.
Yeah, there will be nothing.
And that's why
again.
Don't rush yourself, man. Like, milk it for what it's worth, because after this event, like, who knows what's happening after this event.
I really
nothing.
Really hope a new event actually happens, because I kind of miss reading the new event stories and stuff like that from the summaries.
Is that true? Irby might be a little bit too loud for once compared to the rest. Just a tiny bit. I don't believe you, because you know why? Because every single time you guys said that it was fine, I ended up being like 10 times louder than everyone else. And now it's like you're saying, okay, maybe I'll turn it down by 1 decibel just to like appease appease you. All right, half a decibel reduction. Let's go. That means you're a bit quieter too, Zalgus, as a result. But in my side, Zalgus and Irby sounds about the same. Alright, Zalgus, all you have to do is project, just like you know how I project my own issues on everyone else, just like that.
Fortissimo.
All right, Zalgus, introduce yourself, will you?
Yes, it's me, the guy who kind of sounds dry and whatever.
So you have push to talk on, Zalgus.
Yes, I did.
Just remove the push to talk button, like maybe a second after you're done speaking, because you kind of cut off suddenly, and it's a bit jarring.
Okay.
Awesome. Just a tiny bit to imagine farming in this game couldn't be me though. I mean, what else is there to do in this game? If you're not farming, then you're just it's a logging in simulator. So we had introductions from Irby and Zagas, and you know myself, Arison. We will be doing a discussion for the Clash of Floats ARs, as well as the skill-specific evolutions, Volume 4. And we will begin with the Signal Bulls Club AR from the Clash of Floats banner. Starting with Irby, will you take the lead?
Okay, sure thing. Basically, this new AR is the one that features Tetsuox and Wakan without necks. Basically, it gives you 10 CP at a 60% chance after receiving a buff, which is actually pretty unique to this specific AR. No other ARs have this sort of effect. And it's pretty powerful if you can get a lot of buffers. The rate isn't actually too bad considering this is the base rate. If you're aiming to max this AR and get its max level increase, it's probably scales up to 100% or something, which might be ridiculous.
Too bad the CP doesn't scale.
Yeah, the CP doesn't scale, but it's still pretty good. 10 CP per buff is like it's pretty easy to get a lot of buffs on one character right now. And it also increases the CS multiplier by 2, which is the standard for 5 stars that increase CS multiplier. So basically, this AR synergizes well with itself. Both of its effects are pretty good. It only increases attack, which further reinforces the hyper aggressive nature of this AR in particular. I think a lot of units that will probably benefit from this AR is probably going to be actually Halloween Tetsuox, because he already gains a lot of CP after buff and can buff himself quite a lot. So he's going to be charging his CP incredibly fast in comparison. Wakan as well has a lot of one turn buffs if you really want to, but I don't think it's going to make a big difference for Wakan, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I think it's a pretty decent AR. Definitely one of the best ARs, but my opinion on all these ARs, almost all of them, is very high. I think if you were thinking of rolling on an AR banner, but weren't sure if they were actually good, I think this might be it. One of those.
Yeah, I think this is one of the best ARs to release. Well, I kind of am biased about this CP stuff, as usual, but it's also just, it has a lot of things going on besides that. Like, it has the best kind of bonus stats, which is everything pulled into attack instead of like shitty HP. 500 attacks, nothing to sneeze at. And the CS multiplier is 2, which is like, it's increased by 2, which is found in only some 5-star ARs, not all of them for some reason. And that would work fantastically for making quite a lot of ultra board nukers more valid, such as Furufumi. There's actually a list of units prepared for each of these ARs, and I'll get to them. But for the 2 categories of units I believe would be good with this equipping this AR are units that are all-range chargers that can to facilitate a greater uptime for their board wipe, and 2, anyone with several native self buffs, so that they can exploit this CP stuff as much as possible and get their charge, whatever it may be, up. I will list those units a bit later, but Zagas, any comments?
Yeah, I think this is probably the best AR from this set, to be honest, and in general. But, well, one big problem with it is that it's limited to wood and nether, and they don't have the best selection of units, and they have very few all range board. Like, I think it's only like Echo and Furufumi.
There's
You have Valentine Gyumao as well.
Oh yeah.
there's Kuniyoshi. There's Nightmare Kuniyoshi. There's Yasuyori 4. There's Clash of Floats Nobuharu, Furufumi 4, Echo 4, Behemoth 4, and Time Slip Gyumao. Those are all of the units that fit in these categories that can equip this card, that can do, that have an all-range charge.
Wow, I missed a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this would go great with. Obviously, the first person my mind jumps to is any of those units plus Lianan, because it'll make them hit extremely hard, and the CS multiplier is like it makes it even more ridiculous. So it's a great AR.
Yeah.
Certainly one to root for.
Besides Kuniyoshi, the problem with a lot of these units as board wipers is they kind of do tickle damage, so the extra CS multiplier bonus is well appreciated, and it can actually make them threats. Like, I've fully seeded my Furufumi, and every time he charges, he just tickles him. He does no damage, which is why I was happy to switch around. But if I ever get this card, I would love to.
I mean, to be fair, Furufumi has like 1.7k attack.
It's 1.8, but yeah, you're better off using like Echo, who has almost double the attack.
Yeah, but in addition to that, that's why I was very happy about everything being pulled in attack instead. 500 is a nice bonus for that. So it's like, since he's fully seated for me, that's like a fully seated and half for my own Furufumi. But yeah, the other category I mentioned is they don't have to be board wipers, but just to exploit that CS multiplier. It's not CS multiplier. To exploit that CP to self as much as possible, I would recommend units that can buff themselves natively a lot, and that would include Fashionista Wakan Tanka, who bestows 7 buffs to self, Jiangshi Textwalks, 4 buffs to self, and he even already has an ability that increases CP on buff, so that kind of doubles it in a sense. Mystic Eager, simply because if he can copy several buffs at the same time, then that would facilitate his own charge. Actually, one of the issues with Mystic Eager is that he's one of the best units, but strangely enough, he almost never gets his charge up because none of his abilities facilitate his charge being increased faster. So that would certainly help him by quite a lot, provided you actually play around his buff copy ability. And a unit which I'm a bit surprised you didn't mention, Irby. I'm assuming that did he mention all the units you think would be good with this card, or because there's like one other unit that I thought was really good with this, but I'm surprised you didn't mention them.
I actually didn't remember it actually.
Okay, the unit I was thinking of is a Time Slip Kalki, because he has a
Time Slip Kalki. What?
Sorry, not
Christmas Kalki.
Oh yeah, Christmas Kalki. sorry. My notes is bleh, but yeah, Mystic Kalki is
actually it's not actually really that good. I didn't consider it that good because ECS actually doesn't hit very hard in my opinion. But it is a shame. I really don't like it when my Christmas Kalki charges ECS. For some reason, it actually deals kind of shitty damage. But
that's unfortunate because, like, in the release,
because the problem is that he's going to cleanse all his buffs. So in order for him to trigger his other 2 buffs, you would need to attack. But when he uses his CS, he can't trigger his when attacking skills. So I kind of didn't consider that because, well, unless you have an external buffer, he's not going to do a lot of damage with his CS regardless.
Well, him with Lian and Shi would be good as usual. They only have Vigor in common, but besides that, all their other buffs.
That really goes for anyone though.
Shh. I was just thinking that because he cleanses all buffs, even his long-lasting buffs can be repeated every single turn, which I thought was a neat synergy he had. So that he could exploit after buff CP gain every single turn, even for stuff like Brawn and Vigor.
I guess I don't really like his charge, to be honest.
What's his charge effect anyways?
It's just a bunch of flat damage at snipe range.
Extra damage and healing. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, if you ever want flat damage, that is a strategy to consider.
If you want flat damage, just bring Valor.
Just bring Spirit.
Exactly, just bring spirit.
Balor would also be... Actually, never mind. Balor can't pick up this. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that statement. Irby, can you please read the comments for us before we continue?
My favorite simulator. This AR is awful solely because it makes Christmas Eve even more broken. Yeah, it does make him a lot better. I should probably mention that, but well, I didn't. Tetsua's looking like a snack.
He certainly is.
Velen, Gyobu, and Yasuyori too. I guess they were talking about the all-range charges. This AR is the only reason that I want to pull in this banner, but I'll continue saving for the next onsen event that'll come out in the near future. I don't think it's coming out on the near future at all.
I don't think anything is coming out.
since spring is almost over, I don't think an onsen event is coming this year at all. But
we have a hot springs event or a sauna event in Christmas, so anything
can happen. Yeah. Tetsuo's Wakane AR would be good on Katuga if he was of the matching element. Yeah, he would. It would be.
Yeah, we don't talk about those. There's a lot of units that would be good if they could equip it.
We don't talk about Christmas Aegir. He's too OP to be mentioned. I mean, yeah, but we've been mentioning Yan and Shi times, so I think that point is a little bit moot. Thank God this game doesn't have PvP. Otherwise, I can see teams full Christmas Aegir plus this AR one-shotting teams. Left in Katuga and Summer Kotaro.
They decided to put one of the best effects ARs and restricted to the pools that have the least powerful units. That's game balance for you. Any lingering thoughts before we move on to the next unit?
Should I get a soundboard that has usually an Anshi recorded on it and just pressing that?
You know what? You mentioned you wanted a soundboard before, so I say if you can be asked to do that, why not? All right, so I guess we will.
The lingering thought is that I wish they had Nex in this AR. It really disturbs me, unfortunately.
You wish they had what?
Next. That bit below your head and above your torso or chest.
A neck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're kind of just floating there. It's cute art, but it's, I don't know.
Yeah, Huma's dead, as he deserves.
don't trash Kyuma. He's on my coin team.
Okay. All right. Moving on.
Who's the person on the left?
Let's
that has Arafin's head.
Wait. There you go. It's Iba.
It's Iba.
I can't believe Ara's Ibaraki.
Wait, that's not how he does it. Yeah. I'm not gonna do voice acting right now in the stream. Let us continue with the next unit. You guys did not hear that. Not unit AR. So, Zalgus will be leading the discussion for this City of Drifters, if you will.
Okay, let me pull up my notes because I forgot to actually open it. Professionalism.
It's. So, how was your day, Irby? While Zalgus pulls out his notes.
No, it was easy enough. I literally have it on my taskbar. So, City of Drifters.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Alright, so, as you can see, it's just apply evasion itself. It's actually not that bad an effect. Evasion is the strongest defensive buff in the game, so if you can ever get it, it would be great. And unfortunately, it's a bit limited on the types you can use it on, which is probably on purpose. With Slash and Thrust, at most you'll get 3 or 2 procs, unless you have combo, in which case it'll be 6 or 4 procs or attempts each time, assuming you're hitting it, all enemies. The only difference is if you have it on Suzuka, who has Wide Slash, or Tetsuox, or Halloween Tetsuox, who has magic range, and they can get up to 5 procs more if they have combo. So it probably works better on them. But anyway, the AR isn't that bad because having a chance to get evasion is always nice, but the rate is really low. You know, it's 5-star, so let's assume you're doing it at level 1, so you'll only ever have 15% chance. It's one of those things that you equip because, you know, it would be nice to have, you know, you don't have anything else better to use. Because, you know, getting evasion is nice when it triggers, but it's not something you rely on, really.
Yeah, it's
so it's not bad, but
I feel it's pretty underwhelming when you see it right next to the single Bulls Clip card.
Yeah, totally.
Like it's
kind of a troll pull compared to that.
I wouldn't even, like, in comparison, I wouldn't even, it's like the difference between Mystic Easier and then regular Easier. It's like, why? Why you give them the same rarity?
Yeah, it's like...
I don't think the disparity is that big, but yeah, there is a big disparity between effects. Just
also the stats kind of poo.
Yeah, it's like HP, Y, just dump everything on attack. Everyone knows, like, attack's the better stat to dump everything in. But it's like...
I guess it could be useful on people who innately have combo, like obviously Suzuka, Musashi and Valentoji, because they innately have combo.
Well
so
said.
I guess it would work a lot.
So I did write units that have combo because you're on the dot about that, in my opinion. I said units that can have combo would exploit it more. That would include, as you already said, Suzuka and Musashi, but that would also include Extravaganza Toji, Algernon for Desert Journey Gangle, Nightmare Jambavan, and yeah, that's pretty much it, with Musashi and Suzuka. So all those units would be good, well, good quote unquote, with this card. It'd be the best to couple with these cards. And in addition to that, it would also be good with cards that, slash unit cards specifically, that can like pull units in so they can hit as much units as possible.
Dagon.
Yeah, pretty much Dagon.
Dagon 5, Irby mentioned to me before that he would love this card for Dagon. Well, not love, but
exactly.
Yeah.
It would be fun to have this card to do the solo strat memes.
Yeah.
For them to be more reliable. But unfortunately, I did not get it.
I don't have Dagon, so I don't really want it. I do have a time slip bar guest though, and the protagonist for, which would also be good with this card for the same reasons that they pull units in. And of course, other than Suzuka, one other unit that fits in either category would be a Jiangxi Tetsuox, actually, because he is the only unit with like magic range here that can actually do a bunch. I mean, I guess whatchamacallit, Hephaestus exists, but we don't talk about Hephaestus.
On Jiangxi Tetsuox, it would actually be pretty neat because he doesn't have any defensive options, and he's a very suicidal unit, so it can actually come in clutch. His damage output is already pretty high with all the buffs he has at his disposal, so it actually wouldn't be a bad idea to equip it on him.
Yeah, magic. It's basically like a, you know, the Triton effect. If you like Triton's evasion, like, you know, some people without taste, then you would definitely like this card on Jiangxi Tetsuox. Well, I think, is there any limiting thoughts on this?
I like how we didn't talk about the other effect at all.
You mean the resistance to slash and stress?
Yeah, we don't talk about that. It's basically like talking about, you know, attribute advantage. You know, it's like.
It's there. It's nice to have. You don't really play around it usually, so.
Yeah, you don't. And the thing is, I wish, you know. I wish they were at least as strong as attribute advantage, because, you know, playing around with these would be a lot rare, and it's not like it's a two-way advantage where, you know, you deal extra damage to slash and stress as well. It's just extra defense. So I don't know why they have to be stingy with the defense rate when it's just generally harder to play around it and more rare as a result too.
The face when I can't equip it to shoot 3 and have him take like a quarter damage.
Shino's 3 can equip it. He's what is he? He's like slash.
No, yeah, he is slash. I mean that he innately has slash resistance, but it isn't as high as it could be.
Yeah,
because it's only 70%. It's lame.
It was always, but yeah, it was always confusing to me because it was like everyone has an attribute and everyone has an attribute advantage. what I don't understand is why skill specific to like weapon type advantage or even skill advantage exists, and then they're not even like attribute level advantage. They're just if the matchup is rare, then make the damage advantage better. It's stupid. Like Jacob did it right with his fucking what was his multiplier for blow units?
It's 30%.
That's ridiculously strong, but that's good. It's not like you'll be using it very often, only in like one specific quest ever. But like
it's not only one specific quest ever. There has been quite a lot of instances, so it has come in clutch. You shall see why when you start doing chapter 10.
That probably won't be for a while. Well, maybe it'll be sooner with this whole pandemic thing happening.
They have been pushing the blow agenda, blow unit agenda, chapter 10.
See, this is why I don't think blow is a bad range, because they give blows low and such, especially units on the other hand, they're like the valiant weapon types. Anyways.
What weapon type?
Thrust.
Yeah.
It's like they can't do square deletion because it's like better than blow range units, and then they also can't just do the reach otherwise. So they're kind of in this weird awkward zone. Somehow Slash is even looking better than Thrust, even though early meta people said these Slash units and Thrust units. It's like whatever. So any lingering thoughts before we read the comments?
Why does Suzuka have so many ARs?
Why does Tetsuox work with almost all these ARs?
Well, consider that Tetsuox is actually on both 5 stars, and the real question is why does Tetsuox get 2 5 stars in the same banner?
Why does Gyobu get 0? This is bullshit.
I find it pretty funny that Tetsuox got into two 5-star ARs, and he only shows up for 2 lines of dialogue in the event.
I haven't even seen it yet, but like whatever. I don't care too much about event spoilers. All right, Suzuka's in because like female representation or something. I don't know, some bullshit like that. No, don't call me that. I don't mean it that way, but just she's cool. I like her. And what was that other comment about
Tetsuox being in a lot?
Yeah, he's cool. Just don't bring him near Zalgus because he doesn't like the scars. Alright, Zalgus, would you read the comments?
Sure. Where were we? Laughs in Cthulhu and Summon Kotaro.
Yeah, that...
I think we read the thick one, I think. Well, damn boy, they fit. Soundboard that says usually an and, but 3 separate buttons that has each of us saying it, and then 1 more button that has kawaii.
Nice.
I think that would be really annoying, to be honest, if I actually went through with that, but it'd be funny. Yeah.
Holding it against you, Zalgus, get to it.
Every time you mention Leonanchi, we get a kawaii sound in the back.
That'd be great. Probably the next event is a rerun on Golden Treasure, crossing fingers for a whole band AR. Yeah, maybe Fenrir can get something that makes him not shit.
Maybe Typhon will be in all the ARs and somehow Gangly, but Fenrir won't be on it because Hakenshi discriminate. Not Hakenshi, Jiro.
It's not biased if it's fair.
Gary. This AR is meh at best. Never mind the thrust and slash resist is nice. Honestly, I think the thrust and slash resist are or whatever. They're just there because it's kind of easy. It's kind of easy to play around thrust and slash because they're short range mostly.
Yeah, they're not generally an issue in most quests.
It can be useful for Dagon solo memes.
Okay.
Because
Of course.
yeah, trust me, it is useful because slash units are annoying when trying to solo with Dagon.
I mean, you say that, but don't you only care about the evasion effect at the end?
True. I only care about the evasion.
How is this AR a 5-star? Because evasion, I guess.
It's not
That's probably.
It's not the first mediocre 5-star we've gotten. For ARs.
Valen Snow. I can never remember Valen Snow's kit. Would he work?
He charges his CS very fast. and yeah, he has combo.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot that. It's
he
like
has combo
it's on charge or
balance,
something.
though. Yeah, it should be good.
I mean,
he starts with charge, and he charges up before the combo ends.
I mean,
so
it doesn't really count because it's on charge, and he's supposed to be lethal anyway, so you're never gonna trigger his one attacking twice because he's gonna kill him anyways. Right?
Well,
it's true.
Yes.
Well, you usually can't kill him with the first hit of combo. Unless you have extra buffers, that is. But still, it could be useful.
Hephaestus can equip this AR. Oh yeah, Hephaestus 5. And 3.
Yeah, that would make him really busted.
It's okay.
Like,
If you really want to bring a 3-star intentionally, then sure.
I think the trigger conditions
it's
are weird,
5-star,
though. Combo
works.
was Somerset. Well, yeah, anyone who can bestow combo would be great. Yeah, Somerset, Volos. I don't remember who else bestows combo because they're really stingy with it. Do you guys remember anyone else who bestows combo?
Seth, Volos, and Oniwaka. I think Oniwaka or the Setsuban one bestows combo too.
I think Tetsuok's on charge.
To allies?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Regular Tetsuok.
Yeah, regular Tetsuok's.
Oh. Kamui can be good for this AR. Well, he's designed to be a tank, so he certainly wouldn't mind more tankiness. Slash unit 2, yeah. Shino 3. Just use Fashion Wakan. Yeah, I guess he could use it too. Because Tetsuok deserves it, he's cute, agreed. I'm sure Fashion Wakan bestows evasion on attacks, so like this AR doesn't matter. He doesn't. F Wakan gives crit. Oh yeah. Balance no has combo and charge fast, so you need to know. Another underwhelming AR is the Seth Gangly AR, but it gets carried by R. Yeah.
Isn't it like charm or something? And in fact,
yeah, it's the it's charm on here and burn immunity, so designed for Gangly and Typhon.
Mostly to that.
I kind of like that one better because I like the art and characters better, but that's my bias.
Hinami is so great. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad though.
Well, Seth looks better than his original in that art, so it's fine for me. I think we are done talking about this card, so moving on to the next unit, which I shall lead the discussion for. I always choose the shitty ARs because I don't want these guys to suffer, and this is probably one of the shittier, if not the shittiest AR in this banner.
No, you mean you don't want the AR to suffer when we tear it apart?
Well, I think you actually, I think you actually gave Zalgas the shittiest AR in my opinion.
I mean, it's 5 stars, so it's obligatory.
No. The other one I got.
The other one, yes.
Oh, the other one? Wait, what did I give it? It's
Ogres Nightlife.
Okay, maybe. the 4-star aren't that amazing in this case. They're both pretty crappy. But I just thought Glint is such a meme that I'll take it.
Spoilers.
Let's just pop up my notes because I cheat because I can't remember off the bat. Yeah, so this AR is designed to give Glint to units left and right, but not to self, notably. So that means this unit is not really supposed to be used on a unit that you want their activation rates to increase, but rather you want it to be on a support unit. Specifically, a unit that's like in between, a supportive unit that you kind of place in the center of everyone else. And that would best synergize, I believe, in cases where you can double their activation rate increase by equipping them on units that already have concentration, for example. And the one unit that does that, and I really mean the one unit that does that, is Unfurl the Sails Ifrit, which I think that this card would be really strong with Unfurl the Sails Ifrit, because he's already a support unit that you want to move, and this unit you need to move them for a support unit anyways. And Ifrit already fits all the categories of also being someone you kind of squeeze in between all the other units, and he can double the activation rate of everyone, so he can essentially act like another duo or another gendarme Ikutoshi. And other than that, I would say other than cards that bestow concentration, they would also be good on just supportive units in general that like to move, and that would include Claude 5, Valentine Panic Shiro, Choji 4, Time Slip Barghest, Valentine Panic Gunzo, and 10 Greaves Nair. But otherwise, Glint, it's not something amazing. Yeah, just put it on support units to summarize, and mostly put it on Unfurl the Sails, Ifrit.
I think that's my take on it as well. I mean, it's there, but it's something to give a neat boost to units that already need to move, so that they can also bestow something else at the pretty high rate, even though it's not 100% rate. It's never 100% rate for these ARs.
Gotta bait people.
Gotta bait people to get more copies to get that 100%. But yeah, Glint is okay.
Hephaestus.
What does Hephaestus do?
Yeah,
Hephaestus wants to move to get a weapon change,
Yeah.
and he gives crit to allies beside him, so he has a reason to move beside them.
I mean, I suppose he acts partly as a supportive unit too.
he also
but
he
just
also
when
gives
the crit itself will be
concentration.
increased.
He also gives concentration on CS.
Concentration on CS. Oh, I guess that does
yeah.
have some.
He could do the double thing.
I mean, yeah, you would also need a CP battery for him to get that though. He's not necessarily.
And he
someone
has-
who does charge
And
fast.
he has Glint to self.
Oh, actually, that would be good synergy then. If he has glitch itself,
and he-
then that would
and-
be
and he-
redundant.
And he also has 10 CP per unit he hits, so that's pretty good.
Why is Hephaestus sneaking up in this banner? He's already strong enough. Alright, so you heard our thoughts on this. Actually, Zalgus, you didn't really come with much. Any thoughts?
It's okay, I guess. It's just Glint as an effect isn't that amazing, not on its own, but you know, it's nice to have again. Like, you know, like a lot of ARs, it's just nice to have while it's there. But I don't really have that much to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I picked this card, because it's. I felt like this talking about this AR might have been dead in the water if I just let it to one of you guys, because there really isn't much to talk about. I just know how to squeeze things for all it's worth. With that said, I guess I'll just read the comments since there's not much to say about this AR card that is supposedly 4-star. I mean, I guess it's better than the shit 3 stars that are there for the most. What was the last comment you read, Zalgus? Zalgus?
Give me a moment. Another underwhelming AI is the Seth and Gangly AR.
Okay.
This is the last one I read.
Alright. Then in that case, I'll just continue where Luther started beginning. He says he does bestow evasion at some point, so still referring to that. I don't know who bestows evasion at some point. Or...
Valentine Snow.
Oh. I don't remember this. It's been a while. And it's whatever. To himself at the start of phase. He does? I don't even remember. Alright, Mystic Noir says...
Oh, and no, I think that's F1 actually. Sorry, getting
Oh,
crossed
for
up with all the comments.
Oh yeah, Walk-On makes more sense. Not Snow. The problem with this AR is that it's horizontally adjacent. Yeah, why is it such a restriction? Why not just make it all around? Like, well, maybe not all around, but like, you know, just adjacent in general. It's such a strange restriction because like most supportive units, and I do mean most, like support units, like directly in front of them, or maybe behind them, but not as often to the left and right, which is it's unless you're forwardies and you like using Christmas with Tajikarao. But other than that, it's. Other than that, most units that are supportive like to support the unit in front of them and sometimes behind them. So it's kind of a strange restriction. But what you gonna do? You're gonna enjoy this 4-star card and you're gonna like it. Christmas Tajikarao, Marcosias, and Sishi will be good with. Oh yeah, I was just joking about that, but yeah, not Marcosias. And Sichi. Actually, I didn't even read out the units that would be good with this card. Wait, did I? No, I did. It's. C3 would not be good with this card, and Marcosias would not be good with this card. You know why? Because the units that they support are behind them. They're not horizontally adjacent to them.
I think they still do apply some effects horizontally adjacent. At least Marcosias.
But if you're playing with them, then Glint is not the main effect you're playing for. So,
Yeah, true.
So yeah, I would scratch those out, and I would say maybe just Christmas Takamaro, maybe, but it's like,
Christmas Takarara.
I think I didn't write down Christmas Takamaro as well because he already gives Glint on phase start, so it's a bit redundant there.
Tough Wing Griffin plus does apply tenacity to left and right, but it's the base form that does not.
Okay, then I take back what I said. I'm dumb. It's fine. I guess you could do it if you want. I guess. Valentine Vargas 2, Christmas 2. No, it's walk on arrow, please. Oh yeah, that was clarified. Thank you. And lastly, Gabi says Glint is one of those buffs that are almost never given to other units. Like it's usually applied to the unit with that ability. Yeah, it is. But when they are found at the same time, for some reason, when they are found on ARs, when units do have an ability that bestows Glint to others, as I just realized when I was reading this, they usually have it bestowing with concentration as well for whatever reason. Besides Unfurl the Skills Ifrit, which is why I said he's the sole card that would benefit from that. Like for example, I mentioned Gendarme Ikutoshi because he already bestows Glint as well as concentration, as well as Deva. So yeah. It's an interesting synergy, but LifeWonders knows what they're doing when it comes to handling Glint in terms of, like, it's only really worth it if you can just stack increased skill activation rate. By itself, it's, like, not noticeable. Alright, let's see, and two comments after that. Tough Wing Griffin applies to tenacity allies, horizontal Jason, and behind target horizontal. Yeah, sorry, I spread misinformation like I do to that happens sometimes when, you try to remember everything, but then you cross information, and sometimes I just get things wrong because sometimes I'm dumb. Well, if Christmas Takamaro bestows to self, this AR doesn't apply to self, just to allies. He bestows Glint to allies, I believe, Christmas Takamaro. Left and right, and like 2 squares left and right. It's weird. Which, yeah, I don't know why. It looks like he's designed to be played with that formation, which never happens. But okay. I think that's enough talking about this unit. Let's just move on to the next. All good?
Unit?
Slash AR. It's like, well, we are already...
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not talking about Christmas Takamaro? Enough talking about...
No. Yes, I don't know. Anyways, let's just move on. Herbs, please lead off the discussion for this next thing.
Alright. The next AR is an AR I really like. It's my favorite AR in my opinion, at least. It might not be the best, but it is my favorite because it makes a lot of units, not a lot of units, but it gives some units a lot more usage than before, which is the way of the sword has just begun. Basically, what this AR does is that it has the same effect as Valentine's Bargain's pull. Basically, it's in a slash range, 2 squares in front, which is pretty neat. It's basically the discount dagger. He does that. This AR does that after moving at 80%, which is a fairly high rate, and it can be equipped by slash and non-slash units, which are the units that usually need this sort of pulls the most. It also has some special attack advantage against bind, skill lock, and double lock, most likely to synergize with units like Hogan, for instance, and Tojikarao, who is like the only one that actually has double lock, and is actually the only one that can equip this AR and inflict double lock. So I guess they were trying to go for that, but basically, I think units that synergize with this really well are units that require movement and are slash and long range, such as Island Asterios, for example, or Gendarme Ikutoshi, or even Ben Fender. If you're really into it, I suppose. Basically, any slash and long slash unit that usually requires movement would benefit a lot from this, except Valentine's Bargast and Dagger, because they already have pulls in their kits, unless you're not confident enough on the percentage skill activation rate of their kits, that is. But yeah, outside of those 2 instances, I'd say this AR is pretty good to bring back slash units from the grave.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. It won't work with every slash unit because it has to fulfill a specific criteria. They either have to do they either have to be damage dealers or they have to have like on attack effects. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless to pull units in for those slash units. Like for example, do you really want to be pulling units in with Babylon? It's like no.
Yeah, there's no point
Yes.
using this AR on Babylon. But for instance, for Valiant Kenta, it could be useful to proc his crit.
Yeah, because he's got on attack effects. So for the actually, I'll discuss the units that I list. That's the tier that would be good for later. Zalgus, any thoughts on this?
Ara, do you know what order an AR would trigger in comparison to skills?
Yes, before.
Oh, so you can't have like someone who's like shot range away and pull them. Well,
are you
so this pull would trigger first then.
Yes.
That's kind of a shame since it's pretty short range. I was thinking if like Dagon moved, if like Dagon moves and they're 3 squares away, and he pulls, and then would he pull again with the AR? But if it triggers before, then it won't work.
He already has start of turn goals.
But you could pull more.
But
you don't need to pull more at that point.
You don't need to pull more than 2 times, and he already does that 2 times if you decide to move him.
Oh well. But yeah, I think this is a pretty good AR. Just slash units have always had a problem with range, and they've been adding more and more units who have pull effects to try and help them out. So this just goes with that, and it's a perfectly good AR, and it's got a pretty high trigger rate too. Again with the AR level bait, but you can probably rely on it.
Yeah, I mean it's like, of course it'd be better if it happens super reliably, but it's fairly reliable enough. It's what is it, 80% or something?
Yeah,
30%.
Why am I?
Yeah.
I mean it's okay. It doesn't need to activate every time anyways. It's because usually you're going to be equipping on units that were somewhat functional before the pull anyways at that point. They'll just be better. Maybe not 100% of the time better, but like they'll be better. So the units that I would recommend with this card, primarily first off, are actually any card of Toji and any card of Hogan, because they also can exploit the skill blocking, skill the debuff advantage abilities. And they also have on attack effects such as a double lock, or in Hogan's case, he even has crit plus, which on face start, which you'd want to exploit as much as possible. And he also has skill lock. Basically, it's fantastic with the units they recommend for once. Usually, they're just like side units for the art, but this one perfectly well with the feature units on the art for all their cards, not just their variants and not just their regulars. Besides them, like I said, I would recommend this for damage dealers such as Guillermo 5, so that he can actually hit people with his a crit plus as well as break that are a bit further away. Maybe not the full wide slash range, but like still quite a lot of units. As well as Valentine Panic Moritaka, he's got like attack up or something and like a berserk. And Kasuga 5, he's got 2 damage buffs as we know. Chernobog 5, he's got like frozen and some other debuffs or something. Island Asterius, this was something that Zalgus mentioned earlier to me. This is why you don't mention these things beforehand, because it's kind of biases me. But Island Asterius would be fantastic for this card because he can pull units in and it's like that whole crit plus as well as crit combo. Was it that?
Did I say that?
You did in passing, but it'd be very strong as a Island Asterius, and the only reason people don't like he kind of like has fallen out of use is just because Fashionista Lock-in existed after, and he can actually have the same amount of like further reach than Island Asterius. But now Island Asterius doesn't have to suffer that problem anymore by pulling units in. Well, maybe not boss units, but you get the idea. And continuing on with the list, we got Gendarme Ikutoshi. Believe it or not, he's not just a concentration and glint buffer. He does some respectable damage himself. He has a limit. I think he also has concentration stuff. I forget.
No, he has attack up.
Attack up, yeah. There you go. So 2 strong damage buffs. That's at least a 4x multiplier. Maybe to link up to 8, depending on his HP. There's Krampus 4, which he's got like a couple of buffs for himself, and Stigma or something. Musashi, and the protagonist was crit if you'd like, and Tetsuox 4 was Gambler, crit ++. And other than those units that actually deal damage, it would also be good on units that just have on-attack effects in general, such as, we mentioned this, Unfurl the Sail of Sunir, if you actually want to exploit his healing feature and CP depletion. And I'm pretty sure he does a whole bunch of things when he hits units that aren't. Do you remember them off the top of your head, Zalkos, what he does?
Who? Ban Fenrir?
Yeah.
He curses in kind of like a in a line behind his targets, and he... Shit, I don't remember what else he does.
Well, the other stuff is the important part.
He heals himself and gains CP when he hits speed.
Yeah, so that
yeah,
those
from
parts
his, that was from his other CS evolution.
Yeah, so those features can actually be quite exploitable. Makes them get a whole bunch of health and CP every turn. Ensures that no matter like how many units are actually in front. And as Zalgus mentioned, or is it Irby? Well, they probably both mentioned it at some point. Extravaganza Kenta, which is fantastic. What was it? Like crit bestow and attack plus. I don't know.
Crit brawn attacker.
Yeah. So and crit will be more lively bestowed as more units in front. And Suzuka 4 was her new skill evolution, which we'll talk about later. And lastly, Hakumen 4. Which, you know, the only reason Hakumen's variant was better was not because of her crit, was because of her range. Because, you know, Charm and Bind are very strong debuffs, but it was kind of like restrictive just because Hakumen and slash range means she can only hit the units in front, whereas Hakumen and short range means she can hit more. But now this kind of brings Hakumen's regular back into relevance to be maybe potentially as effective as her variant. So those are the list of units that I mentioned that would be good with this AR.
The protagonist doesn't want this AR though, because their pole is 2 range already, or a 3 range pulls 2 tiles and hunt.
He only pulls directly.
Yeah, that was the issue with protagonist. That's why I still mentioned him, because it's, you know, he's slash range, but he can only pull in units in shot range. At least in this way, it's like kind of a dying.
Can help him hit 3 for just 1.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a neat combo for that to actually extend his range and gives him a bit more pulling advantage. That ends my thoughts for this unit. Any lingering thoughts?
This AR.
What?
She just did this AR. Amazing interview.
I just said I want this AR.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I
The
think
first part it cut out.
cut off the first part. So it just sounded like you said this AR.
Enough said.
I kind of wish the bind advantage was higher, but you know, it's still nice to have. But this pretty good.
This what?
Yeah.
You're pretty
This
good.
is a pretty good AR. What the fuck is with the delay, Jesus?
Yeah, make sure you just let go a second after you're done speaking. But yeah, it is good, especially with the feature units on the actual art. So I would recommend it for first and foremost Toji and Hogan if you have them. All right, let us. It was Irby who discussed it. So please, Irby, read the comments.
What was the last comment? It was probably well. So this to self, the CR doesn't apply just to self or allies. I think this was the last one.
It was, yeah, so Paco providing the goods as the first game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Even though Hogan is blah, this AR will do wonders for slash and long slash units. Yeah, pretty much. Though Toji's neck-to-head connection looks kinda weird.
Oh no, I can't unsee it anyway. God. What the fuck?
That's gross.
What the hell is that? It's like someone just elongated his neck and like in paint or something. What the heck?
A mini Dagon in an AR. Yeah, pretty much. It's not so much as a mini Dagon, but it's actually a mini Barghest in AR form, because at least Barghest has a higher proc rate than this, so it's actually a mini Dagon.
Mini Dagon.
best AR for MC 4-star. Well, MC 4-star can't equip those many ARs, I think.
Did you read the comment about this AR is good for Hogan and Toji in any form?
No.
Okay.
Basically, this AR is good for Hogan and Toji. It's not that bad for long slash or slash units moves, so it's like Guillemot or Valentine Vargas. Well, I don't think it's very good for Valentine Vargas at all, to be honest, because he already.
Is it like guaranteed on him to pull units in? Well, it's near guaranteed, I guess.
It's 90%. So, I mean, if you're that uncertain about a 10% proc rate, I mean, I guess you can equip it, but it's kind of redundant to equip it. Yeah, but yeah, pull with Babylon, but of course, no, don't do that.
Don't.
Imagine horizontal pull in slash range, but in a short ranged unit. Yeah, it is pretty weird. That's mega suck. Actually, yeah, that would be pretty fun to use. Like you forcefully move enemies into a column. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We already have moves that force people to the side, but it's only on attack, so that would be
horizontal slashers. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. So make everyone Tajikarao, something like that.
Well, like, you know, move and then they forcibly move into your column, and then you.
I get what you mean. Do I get you mean? Yeah, I sort of get what you mean. So sort of like, whatchamacallit, like a 3x3 pull, except the pull is towards the right or something.
Yeah, or left. Nice duo lease out.
Just pretend it is in there. Continue, Irby? Irby?
Like you forceful enemies into a column.
Forcefully move enemies. Yeah, I got it.
That would work. Okay, I already read this. This CR would also extend the MC's web range other than Rainbow Crosser. It has 3 square web range, but only pulls 2 squares. Logic 100. Well,
I mean,
you only need you only need to pull 2 squares to get it to yourself. I mean, if you pull 3 squares down,
you'll be pulling it inside yourself.
Yeah, you'll be pulling the unit inside yourself.
I mean, I'm sure some people would like.
I'm sure the MC wants that.
Yeah, it all according to plan right there.
Yes.
That's the next skill evo for MC.
This AR, flustered face or flushed face. Oh god, I can't stop looking at the neck now.
Oh god,
yeah, the opposite.
Please, I just tried to forget about. It's like it looks like the base of a. Alright.
Yeah. Of Tajikarao, instead of moving them aside, you move them in before actually shooting. Or that'd be pretty useless. Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe if you had like a snipe behind you or something.
I see. Wasoi. Anyway.
I think Toji stole the neck from Wakan and Tetsuox from the first day up.
He stole their necks and put it together.
Yeah. It is definitely worth 3 necks. But I think we are neck and neck finished with this conversation. That's all the comments, right? Or is there anything left?
Yeah. Let me just check once again. Yeah, it is.
Alright, well, let us just move on with the next. And why are we still talking about ARs? We've been talking about this for almost 15 minutes already. Holy crap, we need to speed up. Ogres Nightlife. Zagas, please, what do you take the lead?
You want me to speed this up, right? Yeah, this AR, this AR's kind of poo. It's like Ibaraki's Enchantress skill, which is when receiving damage, charm enemies. It's a bit worse in rate compared to Enchantress, which is 20% at max. So 18%, it's like, it's whatever. It's another one of those things that you equip so that if it triggers, you know, cool, but you don't plan around it. It's 18%. You will not reliably trigger that, you know, when you need it. Suzuka and Ibaraki don't really want to be taking hits anyway. I mean, Ibaraki can, they just have Enchantress because that was back when they decided to make kits that actually made more sense. quotes.
If you want like a slightly higher activation rate, I guess you can put it on Ibaraki, but it's...
Yeah, it's just double dipping. I mean, we've already seen a few ARs where, you know, they're basically just for double dipping, but...
Yeah, just like
but
the
yeah,
big angry one.
This isn't really something you reliably use, so I don't know, maybe I'll put on Valentino if I get it. But yeah, this AR's pretty trash. It's definitely one of the troll AR.
I mean, Green Wolf looks cute at least, even if you can't see his face.
Yeah, wasn't there some joke about the end protagonists and having no facial features?
I can't believe Green Wolf was a protagonist all this time.
Also, remove obstructors. Whatever. It's like...
I mean, it can be useful.
It does not exist. I do not see that effect.
It doesn't even remove. It's 50%, so it's completely garbage.
Let's just pretend that part doesn't exist, and I'll just read it myself.
To be honest, there are a lot of challenge quests that have obstruct and drain, and that obstruct and drain messed me up. So immunity to obstruct isn't that bad, to be honest.
It's more annoying for the player than it is for the enemies.
Yeah, applying obstructs is worse than being immune to obstructs. Because it can really mess your strategy.
But it's only 50%. Jesus fucking Christ! Whatever.
Yes, well, yes, but it was that 15% that made Tomte not cleanse all my debuffs on Christmas.
Fair enough. Just get this AR and then go back in time, and you won't have that problem again.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So my thoughts. I'll make it quick because like we have to talk about all these ARs, and we still need to talk about skill evolutions. Two categories of the inside reckon equip on charmers that don't have a one struck charm, because it's like I don't know, make them even more charming, such as Mystic.
I guess Suzuka can do it again too.
Yeah, Fashionista Suzuka.
Best character.
Yeah, some she already charms, but then you know if you just want to play with charmings, this is the basic idea. Equip it on units that are already charmers, as well as Mystic Eager, Valentine Panic Occupant, and C3. 3 or 4, his regulars. And as for the second category, equip it on resilient units. That is units that can actually take a lot of hits, especially those with one struck effects. So that would apply to Horkei Okami 4, his regular. It's Halloween Arsalan, and Seaside Basim, and Aizen 5. Those are all the units that can equip it, and that criteria. It's a kind of whatever card, so yeah. Alright. Any thoughts on that?
You can equip it on Valor if you really want.
On Valor?
Yeah. He does have two defensive buffs on him, so.
I guess.
Echo.
I guess.
He can take hits very well.
Yeah, she only has guts. That's it, and reflect debuff, but that's not a damage.
Oh, I was talking about Echo, but yes.
Yeah, Echo.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let's move along. This AR is.
Yeah, it's.
Delete it. If you got this AR, you got extremely lucky.
Ask LifeWonders to draw a face for Green Wolf. And okay, Zalgus, just read the comments before we move on.
Okay. More charm. Yes. This AR is trash. Yeah, it's kind of air. MC is a wolf now. That's kind of a stretch, bro. Which part?
The part when the wolf stretches MC's ass. Sorry.
This is a PG stream.
Is it really though? It's like my streams are usually like this. I just run dirty jokes. Like whatever. You never had a PG stream.
Moving right along.
Yeah, move. Let me just pull this out. Here we are, Tajikarao. I will be the first unit to lead this discussion. Wasoi! His voice is not nasally, but I like doing that. Alright. So, his new features in this skill evolution is being able to penetrate any defense buff, just like 8 to 5 with his skill evolution, as well as he receives CP1 struck, and for the first 2 turns of each phase, he also can bestow guts to self. So he is essentially unkillable unless you have some weird things like, after attack remove debuffs, which actually no, that wouldn't even trigger. I think would that trigger? I'm not sure. I probably wouldn't trigger. Unless if it was during, sorry, let me clear my thoughts. If this makes him unkillable even for when an attack has a remove debuff on attack, but it still won't save him from remove debuff after attacking, I believe. And
it won't save him from nullify buff, will it?
Yeah, it wouldn't save him from that either. This is kind of a meme skill evolution in terms of it basically just makes that challenge quest phase from Valentine time slip everyone hated and gives it in the hands of the player, except for less turns, only the first like 2 turns or something, which is it's like I wish it was in more turns, but I guess player has first turn advantage, so that's kind of a balancing feature of it. I would say it's okay. I don't know, like him being able to survive lethal damage and getting more CP, I think is a new synergy to consider, because that means he can actually get his charge more often. He already deals strong enough damage, and with his defense penetration, he can just already destroy everything even more. And on top of that, now he can remove every single other buff as well more often with his more frequent charge up that he gets every time he's struck safely at that. Just consider it like a fucking, is it Shenong? It might be Shenong. Shenong has like the first turn he gets evasion if he moves. Consider it like that with Tajikarao, except it's when he receives damage. So he for free he can receive damage, and for free he can hit CP for the first couple of turns. And that means for free he can build up his charge. And I would say for this unit, other than just exploiting his charge, also get him to pair up with units that can bestow him some buffs that would usually be kind of risky or situational, such as Rage, Berserk, or Limit. And of course that would mean you bring him along with units such as Quad 5, Horus, Lianen's Shi, Takamura 5, or Time Slip Guimao. Those are my thoughts on this skill evolution. Any follow-up, guys?
I don't have a lot of thoughts on this. It's a skill evolution.
Yeah, you first. Okay, never mind.
Go ahead, Zagas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I think the gut spam is, cool, gives, assuming, no nullify buff, skill lock, shenanigans, he gets at least 3 turns to attack, since he'll have guts on turn 1, turn 2. So that's cool, I guess. The defensive buff piercing is cool. I guess Eta got that stolen, although Eta can still be used for fire units. But yeah, it's Carl's. But yeah, it's nice enough. I wouldn't say it's stellar, but it's still nice. No one can complain about more gun.
Unfortunately, you can't penetrate poison reversal.
Yeah, that was a strange thing that they didn't factor in for Eta's skill evolution as well. Apparently, it just doesn't count on as a defensive buff, even though it does act the same way, conditionally, anyways. Yeah, I think that just ends our thoughts for this skill evolution. It's a neat. It'd be like extremely annoying if it was put on the enemy, but it's only like so for the player, because you generally don't play around strats that like bring you to near death. And
also, at most, we'll only have 2 units, whereas they have like a full squad of like 9 units with guts.
Yeah, and if you're playing around guts memes, then you're better off bringing someone like Horus, or even Zhao. Like, this is just to self for, it's like only 2 turns. Like, okay, sure.
Also, the guts is skill seed bait either.
Well, to summarize, if you really hated Atos that much but like the skill evolution, use Tajikarao. So I think I will just read the comments now, because I doubt you guys have any thoughts on this. Let's just scroll up a bit. CEO of Guts. Yeah, he certainly is. I think, yeah, you mentioned that in the comments. You or someone else. Tajikarao now can ignore, is an ignore defense unit, just like Eta. Yeah, Gyobu is a seasonal. Hey, we're not talking about Gyobu or Suzuka yet. Shh. Which, no, Mystic Noir, no, we're not talking about those units quite yet. Gawi, aka Noe Habo says, I pulled his 5-star ticket, which made me kind of mad because I already maxed his 3. Oh, Tajikarao, right. Yeah, I pulled another dupe from him. I was trying to pull for Hogan, and now I have a Sacred Artifact level 21. Tajikarao, that's whatever. Ugh. Not that his effect skill at all. Yeah, Guts memes, he's not even the best Guts memes counter. He just does Guts and it's Mimi, but it's, like, for practical purposes, just used Horse or Zhao. And Poison Reversal is not gonna be meta, nor will it ever be. It was just a nice meme for once upon a time. For the Sword Dungeon. Anyways, I think we're done here? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna take that slight might turn on single from Irby as a yes too, even though I heard nothing from him. And
Wow.
what? Alright, let's move on. Nobuharu Skill Evolution Force Sound Shooter. What do you lead us off, Irby?
Alright. Hopefully, Nobuharu got a pretty decent skill evolution in my opinion. It's, even though some people might disagree with it.
Yo.
Basically, it separated the Ardor to self and allies from the Ardor to enemies into Brockwitz. So basically, the Ardor infliction on enemies remains at the same rate, but the Ardor infliction to allies has its rate increased from 50 to 70%, which is actually pretty good in my opinion, considering his snap is going to hit at least 2 units most of the time. Even if he hits just 1 unit, it's 70%. It's actually pretty decent. And he also got a range expansion as well, so now it's no longer the mean shooter, horizontal and vertical directly edges it, but now it also encompasses a diagonal square from his position, which can be useful because you usually aren't going to have your team in a cross formation like that to apply all those to apply those buffs to everyone. And he also gained 2 new effects: the ability to inflict paralysis on the enemies to sort of counteract the Ardor and help the team a bit more, and apply arousal at the same range as Ardor. None of these skills are actually the usual 90% or 80% rates, but they're all when attacking or after attacking, so they're likely going to proc a lot. They're going to have more chances to proc than, for instance, an after movie, since it's based on the number of enemies he hits. So I think it's actually pretty decent. Arousal is okay, I guess, because Nobuharu was already a pretty decent CB battery with a lot of support to the party. But now it got better, in my opinion, at least.
I actually did like the arousal the most, even though it's just a mediocre 10. His increased range for his actual effects is nice. Paralysis is there to cancel out the Ardor effects, but I just wish it was the same activation rate as Ardor, because as a result, you might be getting Ardor on the enemy without paralysis, and that's dumb. And it's also the fact that it's
This is a pretty strong debuff, and it's not actually very common, so it's going to stack with whatever the rest of the party you have can inflict, since he already can bestow some decent buffs to the party.
It has
I think
it has the same issue as Beach Bait, which is, it has Dazzle and Ardor to cancel it out, but because they're not in the same percent, they're not inflicted at the same time. It's a missed opportunity there, so to make sure they never actually take advantage of it. And because of these weird timings, you might end up bestowing Ardor to the enemy without inflicting paralysis, and without bestowing Ardor to self. There's a chance of that happening when you attack a unit, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the evolution's decent. Paralysis is rare buff, debuff, like you said, and they increase the rates and range to a much more practical square around you. I still think the rate is kind of shit because 70%, but it's better than it used to be. The razzle's nice. That's whatever, honestly. But yeah, it's a decent skill evolution.
I'm not saying eye to eye with you guys. It seems pretty mediocre to me. It doesn't really do anything fantastic in my eyes. Like he wasn't that amazing to see if we had a year before, but I guess so. Sure. It will help him after his initial charge more. I think to get like after his first charge, then he can get charged. He can bestow charge more often to allies, and that's when he gets his momentum up. Since it's like an all-range charge, he bestows allies to adjacent units, which is pretty good. But like, I don't know. The first few turns, it's like building. What's it called? It looks like I wrote it down here. He builds a 21 CP per turn, plus 6 units, 6 CP per unit hit, and for allies he builds a 15 CP per turn plus 6 per unit hit, which is it's like whatever. It's okay, I guess.
Well, I mean, I didn't say it was an amazing skill evolution. I said it was shit.
I wouldn't even call it decent as this thing, but okay.
Okay, well, what do you call then the Hanuman skill evolution?
I would call that bottom of the barrel.
I think it's a pretty neat evolution. I don't think Nobuharu was actually a bad unit, at least the variant at least. So that's kind of why I thought this was actually a decent skill evolution, as opposing to a bad skill evolution, because it actually does improve what he already did, and it doesn't have any weird gimmicky things. It's just improving
what he already does best.
Overall functionality. Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess I can't argue with that. I guess I was just hoping for a bit more, but in terms of just if you're going to continue playing with them, then now you can play with them in the exact same way, even better, which is nice, I guess. I was hoping for something new, but it's nice.
Not everyone can be a Leonette.
But why not? Anyways, Irby, please read the comments.
Let's see, where did this? Can you tell me where did you stop, by the way?
Let's see.
Guts memes.
Guts me. Okay, so poison reversal OP near Shadow meta. It's a lie. There will be no near Shadow meta. Shadow meta is. It's a dang skill evolution. It's a dang good skill evolution. Why doesn't Hogan have a skill evolution? Yeah, he deserves it.
He
does.
what the fuck, man? Like, fucking Gyobu
got the evolution. Hogan should have gotten the skill evolution.
And Gyumao's skill evolution, like Gyumao was already fantastic, but his skill evolution was also fantastic. Why not Hogan? Come on, like
they both have crits plus on phase start. They both bestow ardor to self, except Gyumao can also bestow it to allies as well.
Well, self is only on charge, but yeah, it doesn't make sense by all accounts and measures.
It makes sense for me for them both to be in the same level in category to get a skill evolution.
This is Hogan phobic. Okay, it's amazing how no one commented on Nobuharu's skill evolution. Amazing. Don't worry, I'm on the same boat, guys. I don't really have much to say about the skill evolution. Let's just continue with the next one. So, Kalkas, please lead us off with Gyobu, aka the unit that LifeWonders forgot existed.
No! Blame Gamma.
Alright, go on.
Alright, Cloudy Big Boss. I like that name. So, it changes his just apply obstruct, which was, as we were saying before, applying obstruct is kind of a meme, to, I'll read it in order, I guess. So, applying regeneration to yourself and allies is alright on its own. It's nothing big. It's, what was it, like, was it 100 or 1000 or 800 HP per turn?
Which effect? Sorry.
Regeneration.
It was 400, wasn't it? Or no, 600. I think it's 600.
800.
Is it 800?
Yeah, I was reading it yesterday, so I was pretty sure it was 800 or 1000. But yeah, that's, you know, it's nice to have. It's nothing big on its own. The rate is kind of shaky, but he's magic range, so he should be hitting a lot of enemies. So 50% is alright. Special attack Dazzle. That's like what's his face, Gangly from the previous banner. He applies Dazzle on his CS, so it will make that hit harder, which is, you know, fine. Even though he has no methods of charging his CS quickly. After moving no effect, that will never get fixed. I think that just means nothing. But the real meat of the AR is his 3 debuffs. So, in order for every turn he's on the field, it goes Darkness, Drain, Weakness, back to Darkness. Actually, does the counter start as soon as the fight starts, even if he's not in?
Yeah, the counter starts relative to the first turn of the battle, not relative to how long they've been in battle.
Okay, so it's a global timer then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So that part of the Evo's actually not that bad. Again, it's fucking skill seed bait at 90%, but it's reliable enough. So Darkness is a pretty rare debuff. Very few units still. There are still very few units who inflict it, so it's nice to have for stacking debuffs on enemies to make their damage poo. Drain is... it would be better if Drain was anything else, but I guess it means he can stack Obstruct and Drain to do like 25% less. So I guess that's okay, but it would be prefer if it was something else.
Even with
Weakness is great.
No. Sorry.
What?
Yeah, even with Obstruct and Drain, like, why not just like skill lock them? You know, you're generally not going to be playing around even stacking Obstruct and Drain to take advantage of that reduced activation timer. And sorry, what were you saying about weakness?
No, I think the Drain would be better if it was like anything else, like you know, Break or Paralysis, or maybe that's too strong. But well, Gyobu wasn't great anyway, so I don't see why they need to hold back. But anyway, so the weakness is definitely great. It's when attacking, so even though his attack stats a bit poo, it means he can take advantage of it. So that's nice to have. And then it could loops back around to Darkness. So he, you know, spams debuffs on enemies. He also has Nullify debuff in his regular kit, so he's pretty okay now at acting as a support debuffer. Darkness alone, you know, not many units apply it, so that's nice to have on itself.
Yeah,
and if you get CS off, then you can stack Dazzle and Darkness, and maybe if you have Curse from someone else, you can triple stack. But it's a decent skill evolution. I just wish the Drain was something else, but yeah.
The Drain's only noticeable feature is just gonna be the CPU reduction, I guess. But I mentioned this before. It's even the CPU reduction from Drain isn't super reliable either. So I'd just like to. Did you mention about the Dazzle advantage already?
Yeah, his CS inflicts Dazzle. I mentioned that, so it just makes his CS hit a bit harder.
Yeah, thumbs up to that. It's just kind of an indirect buff. And, I guess you could pair him up with a Dazzler, but not really. Just use it for the charge advantage. It's fine, but doing it that way. Fun fact about his regeneration. I only noticed this because I was looking at the units that actually bestowed regeneration before. He's the only unit that bestows regeneration on attack, and it's nice that he bestows it at such a wide magic range, and also at a respectable 50% rate, because for whatever reason, regeneration is kind of really rare to bestow to others, and when it is bestowed to others, it's also at low rates.
It is the highest healing.
By like 200 HP more than Blessing, come on. It's a bit strange, but yeah, I think it's probably the best regeneration bestowing skill at this point, which it's you know, it's a thing, I guess. It pairs well with Darkness because, you know, yeah, I mentioned this before. It rescales the damage so that like healing becomes more prominently stronger if all the damage is reduced. Healing is only kind of crap when all the damage is increased, but as a result, darkness and regeneration work well together to kind of make yourself heal more safer. And the fact that he also has a weakness with darkness means now it kind of doubles his damage rescaling potential, because he originally had tenacity as well because beast meme, as well as vigor on face start. So all in all, he has like 4 different buffs that can reskill damage, although of course 2 of those statuses are clock dependent. He ends up being a unit that has a lot more general utility as a result, because of like just flat out more damage rescaling for like more. When I say like more general utility, I mean you can bring him to like every category of quests more likely, but he also, to play him ultimately, he also becomes a lot more difficult to play optimally, simply because he's a unit that has now become a clock. That is, you have to pay attention to his timer to fully exploit weakness and not let it go to waste. Weakness being his most important turn for obvious reasons.
Kind of wish they had a turn count now, like every passing update.
Yeah, I really wish they had a turn count for both the global count as well as the phase relative count, because there's just a lot of units that refer to both now. Hopefully one day.
I honestly like this skill evolution. I think the regeneration is the best thing to come out of this skill evolution, because I really do not like the concept of the whole clock thing where you apply one thing at one turn and then the other and then the other. I think if you want one of those things, you should probably just bring a unit that inflicts it reliably and not just on a specific turn.
Isn't Gyobu the most reliable darkness reflector now though?
What?
Well, every 3 turns, I guess. But it's already at turn 1, so he'd be useful in that sense to deny enemies that have their charge on turn 1 with darkness.
I guess.
Even more so than the Scally Poke. What's the Scally Poke's darkness rate? I think it's the same actually.
It's
45.
5%.
Okay. Same difference, but Gyobu's cuter. Who cares about Tez? Anyway, please read the comments, August. I think we're done. Wait, we're done talking about this unit, right? No lingering thoughts?
I wish they would also give him a Blood of the Beast Evo.
That would have to be a skill-specific one, and that won't be for a while since you just received a skill-specific one, so...
So you mean it'll be never, because he won't actually be getting a second variant?
Yeah. LifeWonders already forgot his existence, so don't do it again.
He got no AR, it's bullshit.
Yeah, and also in Twitter, it's like, apparently they mentioned all the units or something except for Gyobu. Or something like that?
Yes, on the
announcement.
On the news page, he was the only video that wasn't there for some reason, even though his video did in fact exist.
Though to be fair,
cameras are being erased.
He doesn't have a lot of opportunities to have ARs because he doesn't get along with anyone, so it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? Get along as in get actually along. He's usually always by himself, just saying shit.
Yeah, he doesn't get that many events with people, yeah, or cutscenes.
The most I can think of was an AR with Hogan, I guess, because he's the one he's closest to. That I've seen at least.
I mean, like, he also did the thing in the MQ, but that was a flashback, and that was literally the only time he appeared.
His appearance on what did he even do main quest? I forgot.
He appeared in a flashback with Shino where he told him he's family.
Cool.
Yeah.
Alright, let's just rest in peace, Gyobu. May your de-summoning be remembered by y'all. Even if LifeWonders forgot about you, I didn't. Please read the comments.
That's a ton of debuffs, yes it is. Although it's kind of deceptive since you can't apply that many at once. Or, Best Tanuki Dad, yes. No effect at 45%. After moving, no effect. Yes. only 95% to Pog. 95.
Math isn't...
Nice.
Math loser. Okay.
So with the 55% chance a random effect happen. What?
Oh, he's referring to 45% chance of nothing happening, so that means something happens and 55% chance.
Oh, right. Every time. That would be a really interesting unit. Although everyone's kind of random anyway, but maybe they can make some chaos-based character who has like completely random effects.
Just the new Hocus Pocus of Housamo.
Yes. First turn apply darkness, second turn drain, third turn weakness. You will then apply them all every third turn.
Pretty much.
Is that how it works? They will apply all three of them on the next third turn, or is it from each?
From their relative starts, they're out of phase from each other.
Yeah, so you're not going to apply all of them.
Not at the same time. Anyways.
On one turn. Okay, that would be interesting actually if you rev up like that, but that'll probably throw the eternal durations out of whack. This is looking pretty nice. You should give nourishment with the Tanuki Leaves themes, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, that would have worked too. More nourishment would be nice if it would just mean it hits a bit harder, but I like the Grumpy Tanuki now. It looks like Gyobu dragged him into whatever he's doing and he resents him for it. Is it the bottom one or the top right one? Delinquents.
Same though.
Gyobu needs more content. Yes, he does. Wait, Chaos. Jarl has entered the chat. Yeah, I was going to mention him. He hasn't got his variant yet, so maybe they'll do something like that.
I've always been whatever better now.
I mean, if we ever get an event.
Okay, we'll get an event.
Don't you know, guys? We already had our last event. We're not getting any new events. Enjoy your reprints for the rest of Postmail. Anyway.
The last event was in Canaan.
We don't talk about Tapsit.
Yeah, that was the last good event, in my opinion.
Yeah, Canaan and Jiangxi weird. And even to an extent, Beachside and Fashionista were all fantastic events. But then they kind of just lost momentum with Mystic Christmas and then Valentine Time Slip. Whatever. We were spoiled at that point. We were hoping it was a new standard, but what can do? What you gonna do?
Okay, but there's never been a unit character as irrelevant as Jugo. One day.
I mean, he got a new skin for what reason during that. I forgot for which one, but he got a new skin, so he's not as forgotten as the Gammas anyways. Let us just wait. More like Hugo. Sorry, read the comments. These losers are still talking.
More like Hugo. Andy Fall's best event.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Yes.
I like the events. And he only got a cameo in event. Yeah.
I mean,
no one likes Jugo.
He's alright.
Why would anyone like him though? He never appeared.
No reason to like or dislike. He's just there.
I mean, I can think of a reason people would dislike him, but it's not very mature.
It's not even a valid reason at that point, but whatever. Can we Jigo's August, read that last comment, and then I'm just gonna continue after.
Guillemon best event character. Jugo's a mini Ashgar in terms of his skill set. Yeah, Jugo's not that bad in terms of skill set, since he got to ride off of Ashigara's ego.
Yeah, he's strong, but he's lost trust. Anyways, let's just continue. Finally, the last unit on the banner, which I will be leading the discussion for, is Suzuka, which I personally liked her skill evolution. There's two features of it. What's improved is she now is able to also she can now affect collaterals when she hits units for the HP and CP depletion. So that is to say, when she hits an enemy, the unit behind them as well will also be inflicted with HP and CP reduction. For whatever reason, Curse is not part of that, but it's okay, whatever I guess. And now she also gets a crit plus after attacking, as well as CP on attack. And it's kind of weird that crit plus is after attack, which means the first unit she hits will not be able to receive the crit plus damage, because that's the triggering attack, and only after that will subsequent units she hits will actually feel the full blunt of crit plus. I do believe that it does a sort of the CP ability is one of the hidden gems in this because of her wide slash range. She's able to hit such a large amount of units. It kind of works like a band Fenrir now in terms of being able to build her charge quickly and also just deleting her column quickly. And it works with her combo as well. So the moment she gets her first charge up, then she'll continue getting her charges super quickly thereafter, simply because she'll be able to hit the front row several times at wide slash range, now is a CP increase. So I would say bring her with move her next to a unit like Ibaraki so that she both gains her like relationship with him as well as the glint she gets when she moves. And I would say she would actually benefit from that increased skill activation rate because of the crit plus. She actually hits quite hard, like pretty much just as hard as Gyobu 5, even with his skill evolution in check, because now she has crit plus on top of her usual vigor. Of course, that's only 15%. So if you can overcome that low proc rate, and if you can actually, find a way to hit multiple units, and you don't mind doing a bit less damage for the first unit, then yeah, she is kind of like a discount chemo. And this is kind of like this is a side note, not really relevant for the long term, but for the Clash of Floats wide map quest, bring her for the wide map quests, and bring the pep squad noodles to increase her activation rate, I guess. And also, as I said before, equip her with the Hogan Toji AR that pulls units in.
Yeah, she does 16,940 damage per tile if she has Vigor and Crit Plus.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. Got it.
So yeah, that's pretty good.
Thank you for the input.
Skill evolution is. I've actually been using it and I've been quite impressed with how much her general utility has just skyrocketed with it. Having access to Crit Plus refreshable like that is actually pretty nice, especially when you already have combo in your kit.
Yeah, so like actually that's a good point that I failed to mention. Unlike Gyobu, who still kind of has his best strength in phase start, because of this, Suzuka will still be able to hit hard as long as she activates Crit Plus repeatedly on subsequent turns. She's not restricted to phase start being amazing as a damage dealer.
You mentioned she has glint, right?
Yeah, on move.
Yep, has glint on move.
Yeah, so
move her.
I don't know. I don't know if you would necessarily elect to constantly move her move her just for that, but
well, yeah, that's why I said if you're gonna move her, then move her beside something like Ibaraki to double that skill activation bonus.
Or you could get someone who gives glint and concentration.
Yes, you could do that too.
And we have a few candidates for that.
Like a Ifrit with the new AR card, or Duo, or Gendron Ikutoshi. They're all good choices, but just in isolation. Yeah, if you're gonna move Suzuka, since she already has glint, then you could Ibaraki. Those are my thoughts on it, I guess.
Who knows? Maybe Ibaraki variant will happen soon if we get a new event.
Yeah, it's neat when they sometimes design unit synergies with their actual like relationships. It doesn't happen often, but it might happen with this. Who knows? So I guess I kind of said most points. You guys don't have much to add on to this?
Not really. It's just more damage is always great.
Thanks for bringing up the specific prize, by the way. Over 10k.
It's Crit Plus. I think obviously they can't give it too high an activation rate, but it's not that bad when combined with her own personal glint. 40% for such a. It's pretty much on par with a lot of crit units. So not bad. Proc rate, I mean, but yeah, Crit Plus is great. So is her massive CP regeneration.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is pretty good either.
CP regeneration plus combo plus long slash means a good time. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it. And Irby, any remaining thoughts from you?
Not much. I think everything that I was about to say was already been said.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe I should stop taking Ezra notes to let some discussion happen. Anyways, I'll just read the comments now, and then I'll end this killing game / stream. Let's see. Unmoved, get a random buff. No, thank you. That's last topic. Okay, but there's never been a unit as early. Wait, have we ever read this already? Well, we could go. Andy Falls must have been. He got it. He only got a cameo in an event. And I didn't even see that event because I don't read untranslated material. Why am I reading so much commentary I read? Let's see. Chigo's mini show. Okay, finally, the first new comment. Mr. Mara says, quick plus after attacking. Whack. It is kind of whack that it's not when attacking, but I mean, at least she has combos sometimes.
Combos, so it doesn't really affect that much, especially when her target range is like 5 squares. So yeah, it's kind of like the when attacking crits doesn't proc from Hephaestus. He's just going to deal slightly less damage to the first unit, but then he's going to do a lot more damage after he procs it.
Yeah, and only needs to prep on second point. Yeah, it's a bit strange, but whatever. I guess. Why is that though? A lore thing or what? I mean, the name it was translated as Child of Fourth Deva Lord. You tell me. I don't really know the lore outside Horoscope. A lot of people do, but I'm not one of them. So maybe it's lore thing. Who knows? Jean Rivera says she does apply combo to herself when she gets charged. Yes, as we discussed. So theoretically, she should be able to hit everyone with crit plus. Only on the turn after she uses her charge, not on the actual charge turn. Because of course her actual charge turn, she cannot activate crit plus on that first strike. Mr. Flora says after attacking, this means the first enemy units won't die since it's crit. Yeah, as we discussed, applied after damage function. Truly a gamer mode. I mean, despite that one restriction, at least I personally think she is still a very strong unit to bring forth wide and large maps, and I think it seems that Irby and Zalgas are in consensus with that.
Too bad combo doesn't let you CS on the second hit.
If only. Actually, we've never really confirmed if it can or can't.
I'm pretty sure. So I've asked a similar question before, and I think like Milk answered me or something, and said it's hard coded, so you can't CS on the second hit.
It's hard coded. He can see the code. Is what?
I don't know. There's something like what he said. I don't know. I could look it up, but I don't want to.
All right. Well, it seemed likely that was the case, anyways. But it's technically possible to get like up to 100 CP before you begin your next attack in combo. Depending on you, like for example, with Valentine's Moritaka, since he gets CP to stop everything in magic range for every unit he hits. But I've never really seen it fully in practice because that needs like sacred artifact and shit like that. But yeah, that's just theory crafting about things that you won't be very practical anyways. I think that ends our thoughts for this, so I will just end this stream. Overall thoughts, guys, on the skill evolutions and ARs this period.
Well, they were better than Desert Journey, so I mean, not that it's a high bar.
Yeah, Desert Journey was pretty much just the Gyobu skill evolution event, and then there were other stuff I guess that you could forget about.
Gyobu skill evolution and also Gyobu free print. There you go, or free AR.
Did we ever talk about? Yeah, there were ARs there too. It was like what?
The Kurogani AR is still pretty neat. I still like it. Which, funnily enough,
the stacking attack buff one, right?
Yeah, exactly. It also procs after buff effects, which I have been testing it out, which is actually really good because you'll be getting, if you equip it on a unit that already has after buff gain some effect or gain CP like Cthulhu or for instance Tetsuok's Halloween variant, you're just going to get more CP, extra CP every turn, which is pretty good.
Do you hear that, LifeWonders? The Kurogani card when it gives those hidden buffs, they count as a buff trigger for skill effects. This is a bug. Remove it.
It's not a bug.
They probably can't because of how they programmed it.
It can't be removed by like remove buff and nullify buff. I'm pretty sure. So it's a hidden buff, and yet it activates buff. So I'm pretty sure it's just a bug. Either that or it's some weird in between category of buff and like neutral status.
I mean, it's supposed to count as a buff, but it's supposed to not be able to remove it or stolen because it's part of the AR itself. So if we're going to limit after buff effects limitations to every buff that every AR grants, then you should also do that to the other ARs that give buffs as well.
I guess. I still think that you're so excited about that AR, and now it's just like I feel that the new 5-star AR is just better than that because it still gives the same amount of attack and also CS, spicy CS multiplier increase seems like better, and of course you can actually synergize that with the CP on buff. But they both have their strengths. They're both about equally as good, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it's still 60% with the new one. With this one, you're essentially giving yourself
at 80%
an extra buff. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I guess. Getting cheeky there.
And it's an attack buff on its own.
Alright, well, I think we have talked enough about ARs that aren't even on this banner, so let's just finish the stream up. You can find Irby's channel at... Irby?
It's the link in
the description.
Yeah. Nametaker / douchebags. Fantastic name. That joke will never get old, obviously. I will bring it up every single time. And you can also find Zalkus's videos at... Zalkus.
Oh, sorry. They're unlisted. You cannot find them.
Go to the Discord and ask him in person. That's the only way you can see them. he makes...
Don't join the Discord.
Yeah, it's like a sinking ship, to be honest. Like, there's nothing to see there anyway. Okay. So, thank you for joining us for today's stream. It was really nice to talk about these events, which is a lot more refreshing than streaming. And also, it's for us, it's a nice, refreshing, fun thing to keep our interest in Housamo alive, since, honestly speaking, Housamo has been pretty much dead for the past few weeks, if not months, with the lack of real new content.
Coronavirus got the Housamo.
Imagine if they release a new event, but all the new characters and variants just don't have any voice lines.
No!
That'd be great. Practice social distancing, yo. Anyways, I'll just read the rest of the comments before we close the stream. Combo, also reduce that. Hey, are you gonna read the event? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yes, after the stream, I'm gonna take a quick break because sitting talking for all this time kind of makes my throat parched and be a bit sweaty. But I'm
weak.
Yeah. Anyways, I will be playing the Clash of Floats event. I have not seen it yet, and it'll be a live reaction. I haven't even seen a fan translation yet, so look forward to that. I even made some fancy thumbnails from. Let's see. So yeah, just look forward to that. It's at the end of the stream. I probably said look forward to that 5 times in a row. Ignore me. I'm just super like that sometimes. Era says you can't find Zal's vid. Zal says you can't. Pretty much, but you can though if you're nice. If Zalagus likes you enough. Great stream, guys. How's everyone doing? Social distancing event. I missed your buffering stream. No, Gowie, never bring those buffering streams again. Nightmare streams. Never. Let's just hope they never happen again. But they just.
You did actually static a few times, like just a bit, but the stream continued, so I assume it was just a maybe Discord thing or maybe on my end, but yeah, you sounded fine.
Well, like I mentioned to Zagus before, I do connect it on my phone to my laptop streaming setup through a Wi-Fi direct connection. That might mess up the connection, and who knows, maybe you'll see the buffering streams again. Anyways, okay, Lucer, I'm not gonna read that out loud. Gawi says, I miss you. I missed you too. It's nice talking to you on streams, especially since whatchamacallit, like, I kind of lose my mind talking to myself by myself sometimes. Azu says, I've been farming deities for the past few days. Hey, it looks like you're not the only one, Irby. But I just finished farming them. Wow, actually,